Corki's damage is too high, but that's not going to stop us from abusing him as an off-meta support. Why? Because I'm a degenerate, and even though our Aurelia makes a pretty good point about us probably being better mid lane, I ain't about that life, because I want to make the enemy ADC cry, because I can 1v1 them all game. Riot found it fit to put Corki through a stat rework, meaning they took all his abilities and gave him the 200-year treatment, turning him into a damage god. Oh no, he doesn't have AP scaling on his ult anymore. All that really means is that you no longer build Malignance and go full AD instead. And this turns you into an ADC assassin that assassinates the enemy ADC. Because no matter how hard they try, your passive means that your autos will always be 15% better than theirs. And because this is Riot, of course it's gonna be true damage. Now the game plan is simple. Early in the game, we are still a bit weak, mostly because our damage comes from our outrageous AD scaling on our abilities. The base damage is serviceable, but it's not as good as it could be. When we're in the early game, we just throw out our Q and try and get a little bit of damage down. It also can stop the enemies from going into brushes because it does reveal that area. At level 2, I select our W, and here's why. Just because I said we're weak early doesn't mean we're not going to compensate for it. We pick Hail of Blades as our keystone, so we have enhanced autos. And our autos are already enhanced by our passive, so early game all-ins are great. And if you have that level advantage, mwah, even better. Just make sure that if you are going to W in, make sure your ADC is able to follow up because you can't 1v2 that early in the game. Then if you go in at level 3, you have the Gatling gun, which will reduce the enemy's resistances, essentially enhancing the enhanced autos. Going further into the laning phase, we're just trying to land our Qs, which honestly can be difficult because they might as well be the slowest moving projectile known to man. But since we are leveling this first, landing it actually deals a good bit of damage, especially once you get to levels 4 and 5. And if the enemy goes below half health, that is basically an invitation to just go all in because your damage is going to be insane. Now there isn't anything wrong with only keeping your W as an escape, but I'm all about those aggressive plays. It's called limit testing. Then once you hit level 6, you have access to your ult, and although the total number of rockets you have is reduced, they are still a decent poking and damage tool. You aren't as much as a rocket bot as you were before, but they still do some work. Just don't save them. You just want to deal as much damage as possible as fast as possible. Then after you get out of lane, you just want to rotate to the mid lane so you're available for objectives because you will deal a ton of damage. From there, you just want to play like an ADC. You will most likely stop Wing forward because it's better to just keep yourself safe and out of danger. And since you will have 2 ADCs, they should leave one of you alone. Not really, but it's wishful thinking. Now for our runes, I mentioned before that we're going to take Hail of Blades since a lot of our item choices don't really give attack speed. Sudden Impact for more damage in the lane when we go all in. Eyeball Collection because we just want to fight, and Relentless Hunter for more movement speed for roaming. Secondary tree, we go Triumph for our victories, and Alacrity for some actual attack speed. Now for the items, they're more assassin than ADC, at least to start off with. The Claw for more bursty fights. Opportunity because we go in and we're going to have some very strong all-ins. Berserker Grease from some actual attack speed. Collector for crit and some damage. Infinity Edge for enhanced crits and enhanced true damage. And Rapid Fire for some attack speed at the very end. Now Infinity Edge and Rapid Fire can really just be replaced with other items, but it's actually good to have some crits since it will work with your true damage passive as well. Let me know in the comments below if you would build them this way or if you would build them slightly different. And if you're liking these types of guides, please subscribe and like the video so more people can see it too. Now let's get into that Corki gameplay. Early in the game, we get some poke in on the Senna, and she decides to walk up because she hit us with a bind, and we are able to pick up a nice early kill. Then, unfortunately, because I have the map awareness of a lizard, we get ganked and I pay the price. And immediately after, I come back and I go right back in to help the Jhin. He fires a warning shot to make sure they're plenty scared, then he actually goes for his hits. We provide a good bit of damage so the Senna cannot block for the Smolder, and we just secure that kill, and nothing else happens. Now we're back in the bot lane fighting again because this is a low elo clown PS, and we find ourselves able to force the Senna flash. But then she thinks she's able to go back in on the Jhin because she has the low elo ton of vision, and that ends in her death. Then we decide to overstay because we're also low elo trash, and the tower doesn't matter because this Yi wants to kill hard, and he's not gonna let anything stop him from getting it. But hey, we pick up another kill for ourselves. But we're still not people to judge because Jhin decides he wants to do the dragon with our jungler in the top lane, and I decide, sure, there will most certainly be no negative consequences to this decision. I said no consequences. Then after our totally normal back after getting dragon because nothing happened, we pushed into the tower, and I really don't know why this Smolder goes in, but he does, so I finish off tower to make sure there's no funny business with this fight. Now this example right here is why you shouldn't use your W to go in the mid game. Now we go over this wall, deal an outrageous amount of damage, but we still can't 1v question mark because we don't know where the enemies might be. It's a lesson for you watching. Now there's a fight in the enemy jungle, and we're pretty late to that fight. We try and go in, we kind of get behind on the chase, and we're able to get a kill because the Viego decides he's not going to live another day and decides to go in with like 10 HP. From there, we follow our Nos Colossus to push, and Yi is very much underestimating our damage, and we just missed the kill by one tiny rocket. However, we aren't leaving without some sort of payout, so we kill the Senna and we live, I swear. The lane gets pushed back out, we decide to side lane because we ball, and the Nasus decides, bet, I'm coming with you. Now we're pushing our way up, and I see the enemy, and we decide, oh, it should be an easy kill. Then I realize it's an AP Nasus, and after he blows his one actual ability, he isn't able to deal any follow-up damage, and we both die. Later in the game, Dragon's up, but our jungler dies, so we decide to try and bait the murderer, and although we have a lot of damage, we're only able to trade a 1-for-1 with that Luxalt. But it's payback time, and the Jhin goes in for another bait, and this time we are able to get an easy kill. Then their Smolder thinks he can out-damage me, but I am Corki, and I'm sorry to say, that just simply ain't true. We then pull up, and the Yi has a decision to make. Who's he gonna kill? And luckily it wasn't us. Now we're pretty far ahead at this point, so we're getting ready to Baron. I see the Nasus is engaging the Yi in Mortal Kombat, but this isn't the time for a fair fight, so I come in and kill the jungler, but we still don't take Baron because our jungler is nowhere to be found. We die because we W forward again. Now we take the Baron after a free Yi kill and go in for the final push. Diego's able to get a kill on our Jhin, then I evaporate his health bar in 0.23 seconds, and then Yi decides he wants to watch that magic trick again, and he watches his health bar disappear. And that's it, we did it! We won the game, and if you enjoyed this video, check out this one as we throw our balls in the enemy's face for the ultimate Halo 3 teabag of a lifetime. Talk to you later!